Hello, welcome back to part 2. Last week we watched parts 1 to 4 of The Invasion. So this time we are here to review the second part, parts 5 to 8, as well as our overall opinions at the end of the story.
Nice.
Yes.
Let's get cracking.
Let's do it.
Now it all exists.
Yes, no animation parts, episodes, whatever you want to call it.
To be fair, it was decent, decent animation. Kept us going. It's nice to have something to look at when you're not like telly snaps.
Well, I think after your initial, oh yeah, it's animated, you sort of forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, get used to it. Oh, this is creepy. Ooh. It's stuck. Ooh. It's still stuck. Ooh.
So obviously this is the basic Cyberman design. The Cybermen don't really change too much in the classic era after this story, do they?
No, well, Earthshock they do change quite dramatically.
Well, they've still got the sort of similar head design.
Yeah,
they don't change massively, do they?
No.
Maybe the outfits do, but the head shape, that doesn't really change too much after this.
Yeah, they're earmuff things, whatever you call them. They're quite similar. I think my favourite Cyberman design, I really like these ones, but I just love the moon-based ones.
Yeah, okay.
I just think they're so creepy. And the Mondasian ones.
Letterbox mouse.
Yeah, and the voices. Ooh. But Mondasian ones are great as well, because of the body horror aspect of them. You quite like these ones, don't you?
But yeah, mine are either going to be the Invasion ones. Again, 10th Planet, just excellent as well. Or the 80s ones.
Yeah. It just... I do like those ones. It just depends on lighting. Like, they look quite good in like the Five Doctors because they're on location and things, but...
Well, I think even when in the studio set, when they're walking across in the Tomb of Rassilon, the checkered floor with the Master, they walk in and I think it's a really nice contrast between their shiny silveriness and then sort of the more darker looking set.
Yeah, they do stand out there, don't they?
But surely we can at least request a thorough investigation.
This isn't our province.
Well, then whose province is it?
It's no good getting angry about this. You must see this from my point of view. All you've given me are vague reports.
He's under mind control, isn't he? Cyber control.
Yes. He's got all the powerful people on his side. Brainwashed them.
That's right. Yeah, Vor's pretty smart. He knows what he's doing. He has a breakdown, doesn't he, later on? Like, the cyber control really affects his mind. He can't even think properly.
How long before this will be effective?
I think...
There you go.
should...
Yeah, conditioning. He's trying to fight it.
It's a shame you never actually see Unit Central Control in the series. It's always mentioned, but you never get to see it.
No.
That'd be a great thing to put
But
in.
what about the end of time? When obviously everyone turns into the Master. Yeah. Isn't that Geneva?
Oh yeah, you're right actually. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Obviously everyone's the Master.
And they're firing the missiles.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Forgot about that. Be nice to see it properly though, without a million masters.
Let me do the supposing, Packer. Yes, Mr. Now.
Yes, Mr. Vaughan.
Yes, Packer. We know what happens when you start thinking. The amount of scenes Vaughan has, he's taken up almost more scenes than the Doctor.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of it, isn't he? Be a great part to have, get plenty to do. Oh, look at these. They look great, don't they?
Shame about the voices, but
You don't like the voices in this?
they're a little bit whiny.
Oh, I like the voices in this. They're creepy. They're not as good as the Tomb ones, but... We understand. Speak now.
Yeah.
Have you received your instructions?
Yes.
You will proceed through the sewer tunnels to your allotted sectors. There, you will obey the commands of your sector leader.
We understand.
Might be an unpopular opinion, but I think I prefer the
Don't say Wheel in Space.
Revenge Cybermen voices to the voices in here.
What, the bloody Canadian bloke? The beacon is ours. No.
Yeah.
We prefer those to these ones.
Yeah, they're whiny in these.
Well, no, I like them in this because they're really don't know, it's creepy.
The thing about
it's
the invasion is you can hear like the person underneath. So that's a reminder to me that okay, yeah, these were once blokes. These were once people.
You mean Revenge?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I find them too human in that. I don't know. I'm not a fan of them. Get down, Steve, for God's sake! They were probably doing that, the actors playing the Cybermen, because they couldn't see. They were guiding each other down. Can't see a bloody thing!
Oh, look, Packer's got a hat on now.
Why not?
His strap's too high as well.
Bucket on his head. They obviously done one size to fit all, and obviously that's just not the case.
One of those guys earlier that was covering their mouths, that was hilarious. It's so stupid.
Let's see how the Cybermen will react to fear.
It's pretty dark, because you think that's a person in there, and they just turned off the emotional inhibitor. So it can feel all of its pain.
Well, they address this in Rise of the Cybermen, and they just still, don't they?
Yeah.
Like you turn back on the emotions, and the Cybermen just go mad
Yeah.
because of what's been happening to them.
Well, that's the whole point of the Cybermen. Like, the reason they have to suppress their emotions is because what they've done to themselves is so unbearable. They have to just strip themselves of emotions, otherwise they won't be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's too painful.
Oh, you're right. It could well be the sort of proof I need to get some action.
Well, all I need is my cameras from the house, and then I'm all set.
Now, wait a minute. This is hardly a job for you.
Oh, I ever not.
Well, you're a young woman. This is a job for my men.
Uh-oh.
Well, of all the bigoted, anti-feminist, cretinous remarks...
This is no job for a girl like you. Now, that's final.
Oh, you man!
I'll get in touch with my photographic and get them onto it.
The only thing with... I mean, I like that they address that, like, you know, the whole feminism thing, but the only thing, it doesn't really amount to much, because when they... They make a big point of like, oh, I'm a woman and I can do this. But when she goes down there, all that happens is they need rescuing.
Yes.
So it doesn't really amount to much, does it? If they'd have gone down there and like managed to kill a Cyberman or managed to get photos that were believable, then
Yeah, because they do get photos, don't they? But in the end, they yeah, exactly. Yeah. So even if they went down there, needed rescuing, but okay, I've actually got some good photos.
Yeah,
so
and the Brigadier would have been like, oh, fair enough, I was wrong about you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't... There should be more of a payoff for that.
Well, the only reason they've done it is so they can have a cliffhanger, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
No! My body may be cybernetic, but my mind stays human. That is final.
Do you know what this is reminding me of? Obviously, they would have got it from this, but do you remember that character in The Next Doctor, that woman that was working with the Cybermen?
Oh, yes.
The red dress, I can't remember her name. But she's a bit like Vaughn in a way.
Was it Miss Hartigan?
Yeah, that must be it, yeah.
Yeah, she is, isn't she?
Because she says to them, like, you know, I'll work with you, but I'm not going to be converted. But they trick her in the end. And,
She becomes a cyber king.
Yeah, that's right. I think they took inspiration from him a little bit.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah, that's
just a matte painting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it looks real.
Jamie?
Well, it's like a similar thing they've done with the underground, isn't it?
Not today.
Well, it looks sort of similar. Probably sort of technique they've done with the underground set. Because of course, London Underground Services actually had a go at them, didn't they? For you used the underground, and of course they
You can't film down there.
It was a set.
It's a set.
You think you're going down there for, you young idiots?
I forgot about the policeman.
What the heck?
Yeah, they have two weapons in this. They have the chest unit and the guns, don't they?
Yes.
I imagine the chest unit is more for close quarters.
Well, yeah, I mean, probably how much energy they use powering up their chest units to kill someone.
Drains their battery.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
What?
Oh, and here comes a crazy Cyberman.
I'm drunk! Help! Can't see a bloody thing in this helmet! Doctor Who, The Invasion, Episode 6, The Drunken Cyberman.
Oh!
Can't see a bloody thing!
I'd love to have been there when they recorded this. Right, Derek, raise your arms up a little bit. No, a little bit more. No,
Don't bump into the ball! You couldn't be a Cyberman if you were claustrophobic.
Fun fact, This guy here, the guy who dies, is called Perkins.
I know.
So's this fella.
It's my relative. Yeah, Perkins, the pathetic one, of course. Perkins, come back!
Don't resist. You will obey instructions.
I find that quite good, the voice
You
there.
will come with us.
It's a lot better than the Wheel in Space.
Oh, God, yeah. Wheel in Space, terrible, isn't it?
I really like the light up chest units and their head torches.
It looks good in the dark, in the sewers.
Yeah.
That's quite dangerous as well. Look, they went
Right on top of the actors. Yeah.
The next question.
get blown
Come
up.
on, Perkins, come on. It's too late, Sarge. I'm getting out.
Perkins, you wimp.
Yeah, deserter.
I caught a fish this big!
All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. Come on.
Oh, my leg.
All right, hold on, baby.
Well, he said that very calmly, didn't he?
My leg!
Oh, my leg!
What was that side man doing? He's like, ugh.
That's quite. I quite like they've added that sound effect of like
Yeah.
metal being hit.
That's cool. Although, it's a bit weird. They shoot them and it has no effect. But if you hit them with a gun, it does.
No, I think it's sort of this part, maybe the beginning of the next part, where it does sort of slowly start to drag a little bit.
Yeah, I think between now and when the invasion actually starts is the, like, okay, we're dragging our feet a bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not bad considering we're now, what, 6 parts in? We've been pretty hooked most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
We should get some action within 2 or 3 days.
But that might be too late.
Here we are. Some beauty.
The Doctor sort of studying by a microscope there sort of reminds me of Pertwee and the Silurians when he's trying to...
Yes, he's trying to find the antidote for the plague, isn't
the
he?
virus, yeah.
But well, they do look a little like fakes.
Excuse me.
Hey.
But
Yes, I see what you mean.
There you go, look that whole feminism thing or whatever, now it's amounted to nothing because...
yeah.
I think they should have written in for it to be like, oh, we can use these photos. Oh, well done, I misjudged you, Miss Watkins or whatever.
Yes. Because I mean, they wouldn't have immediately sent them to the whoever, and they would have been like, "Yeah, we believe you." It would have taken time. So
Yeah.
even if they went right, great, we can send these off now, and then they send them off, but then obviously they don't hear back in time,
No.
and then
It's all pointless.
the story could have carried on exactly the same as it does anyway.
But I think you made a good point. I think the only reason they really did that for them is just for an excuse for them to go down to the sewers for a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
The weapon now.
Really?
The modifications were quite understood.
That prop is also using the Sea Devils. The
Yes,
Master
it
uses
is,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it in?
He summons the Sea
uses-
Devils with it.
Yeah. Doesn't he make it in the storage or the the tech room of the naval base?
Yeah.
Or the store?
Yeah, I think so.
Professor, you will be taken back to the factory compound. I want these...
Now this is actually a really good bit. I think this is
Yeah, this bit's very good. Yeah.
this was one of those things where you watch the episode and actually ingrained it into my 10-year-old brain when I watched this first.
When he shoots
when
him.
he shoots him and then you got the smoke coming out of the bullet
cool,
hole,
isn't
and he's
it?
just standing there laughing. Yeah.
It's a very iconic evil moment.
But if I get half a chance, I'll kill you.
Kill me? Would you?
It's not an empty threat either. He does actually shoot
Give me
him.
your gun.
Yeah.
I guess because
He does hit him though, doesn't he?
he does, yeah. But he's also because he's involved his daughter as well. That'll be that's why he's so ready to kill him.
That was his niece, isn't it?
Oh, his niece, sorry, yeah.
Now you're free to shoot.
It's very well acted, this scene. All of them are brilliant here. Even
Yeah.
Packer's like, what was he doing?
Shoot!
He actually smacked him there as well.
Come on.
Yeah.
I wonder how they did that. It must be some sort of little smoke thing.
Wires, yeah. fed sort of smoke through some tubes that are probably like
up his shirt.
Like yeah.
That's good. That's the classic Who. It comes up with like simple ways of making things effective.
Well, it just proves that doing as much as you can in camera is always better than CGI or whatever.
Definitely, yeah. Because it's real and you believe it. And...
I'm forgiven then.
What?
Do you reckon she could have been a companion? She's got the aura for it.
Yeah.
She would have made quite a good companion, I think.
Maybe that could be an Unbound. Big Finish could turn around and do that. Yeah. The adventures of Patrick or the second Doctor, Fraser, Jeremy Crimmins, Zoe and Isabel.
Yeah. Be a bit crowded, that's the only thing.
What's the matter, Doctor?
We were talking about how tired they'd be. They've actually shown it now.
To be fair, in the story before the Mind Robber, Jamie has a nap as well, so...
Is he?
Yeah, that's when he... in the Mind Robber. He dreams about the unicorn.
Oh, yeah, he does, yeah.
All right. Your shindig, Jimmy.
Sergeant, tell Benton to stay with them. I'm on my way now.
They cut this scene out, didn't they? It was supposed to actually show them rescuing him.
Yeah,
it was a shootout.
Gregory was supposed to originally get killed, wasn't he? He was supposed to pick up a gun.
Yeah, Benton was supposed to shoot him, apparently.
Yeah. But then weren't they like, that's not really sort of like in character for...
He's too cowardly to do that. He'd never do that, yeah. And he gets a better ending anyway. He gets sent to the sewers and executed by the Cybermen.
And we'll get to it when we get to that scene in a minute. But I think there's quite a funny story sort of after they finished recording that scene.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And they just took the professor.
What could we do? So at least...
It's a little bit jarring though, because they just started talking about rescuing him.
Yeah, like, we're going to do this, and all of a
sudden, he's like, there were 30 of them.
They've done it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's a great attention to detail. Like, I like the fact that even though he's a supporting character, they take the time to like rework a scene because it isn't in character for him. He's not even a main member of the cast, and they're taking the time to think, no, we can't do that because it wouldn't be in character.
Yeah, he was only in episodes 5 and 6, wasn't he?
I think he's a bit earlier as well.
Oh, was he? Okay. Yeah, so after this scene, he collapses off the death as soon as they cut.
And a round of applause for the death.
Yeah. Yeah, and then everyone applauded.
Wasn't there, Zoe?
The depolarizer. One at the back of the neck, it will jam the cyber control wave.
Yes. Have you any neuristors here, Professor? Well, a few, I think.
Polarizer. Was that using the wheel in space? Is that where that comes from? Because she seems to know what that is. But his eyes shut now.
Of course.
He must have some sort of infection or something.
Maybe someone punched him in the face.
Watkins bit him back after.
Yeah. He shot and that didn't work, so he went...
Bastard. It's a great design, that cyber planner. Very alien.
It looks like a mainframe, sort of like a web type thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? It's supposed to be like a mainframe, it's supposed to be like 20 brains combined into one thing. That's cool. That looks creepy, doesn't it, in black and white?
You sure? Quite certain, Packer. Quite certain.
That's the most sensible thing Packer said so far. Are you sure you want to take over the world?
No, obviously this is a very iconic cliffhanger.
Yeah. Get some great facial expressions in this.
It's the Cybermen. We've just seen hundreds of them coming out of the sewers.
There we go.
That's great. I like that line, and they just cut and then bang.
Oh, look at that.
Apart from you've got some bloke watching the balcony.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he's stuck on the balcony because he's been hypnotised.
Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy with that sound and everything. Brilliant. Well, apart from the funny face expressions, that was a brilliant cliffhanger. By the way, check out the re-edits and you'll see me get hypnotised in the invasion.
Not on the toilet. No. I just want to clarify.
We should have thought of that.
I know, we should have done that.
Damn it.
We didn't.
Oh. Mid wiping my arse.
That probably would have got blocked.
Probably. Too far.
Oh my.
Doctor!
Hangover.
The invasion has begun! Yes, Jamie.
Look, I'll send transport for you. You'll be safer here with us.
Oh, thank you.
Jimmy.
Yes, sir. I heard.
Are they at Watkins' house at the moment, aren't they?
This lot?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, they're using his lab, aren't they?
Mm.
Not get what you want.
That little
Unless
thing
I
moving.
too achieve
Yeah.
my object.
Little mouse
Is
stuck
this
in the thing.
agreed?
And then you sort of think, is that something? Could that allude to something like organic, like a heart?
It looks
or something,
like it, doesn't it?
or...
Oh, wait. It looks like a tube, actually. A tube, like, folding in and out. Weird. Good, though.
Yeah, it just makes it visually interesting rather than just a frame with
Yeah.
lights.
I'll get nicked in a minute, that other
Yeah.
photograph.
Oh, I thought you meant a Jeep. They go out. Who's taking the Jeep?
Oh, no. I'm in a photo. Oh, squeaky brakes. Bloody hell. Sort that out. Not very subtle of them.
We're gonna sneak in. We're gonna sneak in.
Oh, Packer, you didn't put it in for an MOT. Oh.
That's where Jamie gets shot in the leg.
When I was like 7, I don't know why, but the way, watch this now. I always thought he got shot in the arse when I was little, because he goes, ah! Forrest Gump got shot in the arse. I reckon Troughton might have had a little break halfway through there, because he wasn't in it a lot, was he, for a bit of it?
What, this?
Yeah, I might be wrong, but he just, because it seemed like he wasn't in it much. Because he's in it more now, isn't he, towards the end? And then now that Jamie's been written out a bit, I'm wondering if Fraser Hines is now going on holiday.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe they didn't. Because Jamie doesn't really turn up till the very end now, I think. That's it for him. Really.
Yeah, they mentioned that like the army doctor's like saying he can't walk on it or
That's it,
something.
yeah.
And they're like, oh, Jamie's furious because the army doctor said he can't.
That's it.
He's got to rest up or something. Yeah.
Oh, he's been in it a lot, to be fair, so... It'd probably get a bit too crowded if you had all these characters in it all
Especially
the
as
time.
more gets introduced, don't they?
Yeah. A lot of it's Vaughan and the Doctor in the end, isn't it?
Mm.
Can you honestly say that everything's going according to plan, that nothing's been overlooked? Well, can you?
Just obey my orders!
Interesting. Packer's starting to turn now.
Yeah, you can see that everything starts to get unravelled. Even
Yeah.
Packer's probably Vaughan's most loyal employee.
Yeah.
Is even he's starting to question.
But because he's been displayed as so violent and stupid throughout this whole story, it speaks volumes that now he's going, are you sure about this?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, here we are. The Russians were planning a countdown at the time we were attacked.
For the moon, sir?
Yes, a manned orbital survey. That means they'll have a launching vehicle almost ready to go.
You mean we could put a warhead on it in place of the astronaut capsule?
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Well, how long would all this take?
Well,
How convenient.
Well, I mean, back then, the space race was quite a big thing, wasn't it? So they would have been
Yeah.
putting rockets up quite frequently.
And they would have.
Oh, sorry.
That costume Zoe has is just ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, it's just a slight flesh wound.
It's quite confusing because obviously they wear those costumes in the Mind Robber,
Yeah.
and then obviously all of a sudden they're aboard the TARDIS again, back in their costumes from the end of the Dominators, and then they change back into their costumes again from the Mind Robber.
Must have brought a suitcase with them.
Sergeant Walters, ask Wing Commander Robbins to bring us down at the nearest airstrip to Henlow Downs Defence Base. Yes, sir.
It would have been interesting if Captain Turner and Sergeant Walters would have returned for the Pertwee era, and Isabel would have made the odd appearance. That would have been interesting, wouldn't it? Bit of a connection.
Yeah. Or if it would have been pretty cool actually if there had been a cyber story in the Pertwee era, and then they'd returned for that.
Yeah. That would have been nice.
There you are. Can you hear me, Mr. Vaughan?
He's so thrown by it.
What?
Why is he here?
They have merely provided their advanced scientific skills, their might and strength.
What do they get out of all this?
What they want and what they're going to get
are two entirely different.
So good. They bounce off each other very well, don't they?
Yeah.
I think they mentioned in the special features as well that the reason this works so well is because Vaughn isn't like a monster and he doesn't have a costume. When you get that eye-to-eye contact as actors, it's so much easier to bounce off each other.
Yeah. Yeah, rather than a rubber mask.
Yeah, or a Dalek, because I mean, it's harder to bounce off a Dalek, isn't it? I would have loved to have seen Kevin Stoney in a Pertwee story playing a villain. Those two would have been,
Be under my command, exactly like the others.
But you can't be sure of that, can you?
You're right, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not the best poker face, Doctor.
Yes, sir.
Is the radio beam of the
I keep expecting to see the Cyberman come across, but that's later, isn't it? That's great, because you get so much of Packer going, yes, Mr. Vaughn, and then the Cyberman comes out at the end, you're like, oh my god.
See, when I first saw that, I thought, oh my god, Packer's been converted.
Oh.
And obviously then he comes in like straight after you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
It would have been cool if he had.
Copy this.
I remember spending a lot of time here now. I remember this dragging slightly.
Yes.
At the missile
Well, there's
launch.
even a time when they're all just standing there staring at a clock, isn't there?
I think there is, yeah. Is this episode over yet? No. Still going.
And Benson drops something and he'll stare at him and he goes, sorry, sir.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
Don't you understand yet? I've no alternative. I can't see all these years of work destroyed. I must go on, I must.
So he's now got the dilemma of, I've gone too far now,
Yeah.
you know, I can't.
He's regretting what he's done.
Yeah.
Idiot. Playing with fire, that's what he's doing. It's a shame, like, the new series don't really reference, like, big invasions like this, do they? Like, they reference it sometimes, like, old classic invasions, but, you know, like, I remember, like, Bradley Walsh's character saying, oh yeah, aliens don't exist, do they? But it's like, it's public knowledge for the people of Earth that they've been invaded.
That's what I liked about the Russell T Davies era, that everyone was referencing and knew all the invasions. It felt like its own little world.
Exactly.
But then obviously then Stephen Moffat comes along and reboots the universe at the end of Series 5, don't they? And
Yeah, but I thought it was supposed to be, like, they put it back to normal, though. Like, everything that happened before happened.
Well, no, I took that as in, like, universes...
What, everyone forgets stuff?
Yeah, everyone's forgotten everything that's happened.
How convenient.
Ever in Doctor Who. Yeah, I know, and then it just sort of turns into that. And now, now it's like the rest of the show doesn't happen.
Although I do like, there was a reference to this that I liked in the Peter Capaldi era. It's not a very good story, but Death in Heaven. At the start of that story, when the Cybermen... Well, they homaged the St. Paul's March with the new Cybermen. They walk down the steps by St. Paul's. And then... I think it's Kate Stewart comes on and drops an invasion Cyberman head.
Yes, she does, yes.
This is from your last appearance, or whatever she says. Your last invasion.
Yeah, but no one's like...
No.
Yeah, and everyone's just there taking photos and
oh no, it's awful, isn't it? Like, seriously? I love the sound effects. It's like Thunderbirds. I like the fact they use stock footage, because it's a real missile, so you believe it. Oh, look at this. Got slugs. I love that. All these effects.
Yeah, it was what we said, didn't we, earlier about it being tangible. So it's sort of, although you know it's models, it sort of just feels real because it is real.
Yeah, those models
exist. Something tangible about
it.
Yeah,
they're not a computer program like CGI. Ooh, Cyberplanet fights back.
There you go, Simon, they're taking over now.
That's a bit like in Power of the Daleks when the Daleks no longer need the humans. They're like, oh, we no longer need you, we're going to kill you all.
Yeah.
And there's always stupid people like Vaughn and those people in Power of the Daleks who think they can control this mighty power, and they never can. Look at that, he's just realised now, he's thinking, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
What have I done? Silly man.
Silly Billy.
Silly Billy.
Brought about the end of the world for everybody.
What a donut. The final episode. It's all gone to shit for Vaughn now.
He says something like that, doesn't he? Not exactly those words.
Doctor, it went to shit.
But he said something on the lines of, "Oh, like I spent 5 years playing this in the space of 5 seconds."
It all went to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he gets a bit grumpy, I remember in this episode.
Well, not surprising. I think I would, if I was in his shoes.
You can't destroy the world. What about me?
You are of no further use to us.
God, that's a hell of a microphone the Doctor's got on him.
He's got this massive, like, thing in his jacket, like, he's like, yes, so Mr. Vaughan...
He's got a boom
mic. Boom mic, yeah. He's sticking out over his shoulder. So, Doctor, what's that? Nothing.
Yeah, well, I had this whole time. You noticed it the other day.
Something called a cyber Megatron bomb. But they're going to wipe us all out, sir.
A cyber Megatron bomb? That
A cyber Megatron bomb.
Sounds like out of Transformers.
Yeah, the Megatrons.
Vaughan just has a massive temper tantrum for the rest of the episode now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's a child that didn't get his own way.
Oh, it's dead. I killed it. I destroyed it.
It's dead. Is it? How can you tell?
He's very proud of himself for doing that.
And in less than 5 seconds.
Yeah, there we go, that's the line.
Listen to me.
Yeah, this is when I first watched it. I thought, oh, Pepper's been converted into a Cyberman.
I would have rathered that. That would have been really cool. Because he's been looking at that scanner the whole time, coming through, saying, yes, Mr. Vaughan, it would be so neat if he came back as a Cyberman. And yeah, that's the end of him.
Ah, Packer.
Oh, bless him. Violent bastard, bless him.
Where is the transmitter for the radio beam?
We can't fight them. They're too powerful. Too many of them.
Oh, don't be a fool, man. Where do we turn it off?
At the compound. But they'll be there.
Right. We must stop them.
Radio beam, so that allows the Cybermen to home into Earth in their ships, doesn't it?
Yes.
Jimmy, over.
Hello, sir. The Russians have fitted a warhead to the rocket now, sir. A super-cooled hydrogen device. It's a solid fuel...
This is dragging its feet slightly now, isn't it? Like,
yes.
Okay, are they doing it yet? No, we're going to organise it. It's like, okay, right. It's like, come on.
Yeah, it is basically just waiting around for this missile, and obviously in time to the Doctor and Vaughan to get over to the control or the signal.
Yeah, it's where the signal's being transmitted from. It's like it's doing it in real time. Still going.
Yep.
Bloody hell. We're going to draw this out as much as we
We're
can.
going to wait till the rocket goes off the edge of the screen. Then we're going to cut.
We'll wait till the rocket actually reaches the moon. I like this sequence. You know, them going through. He's so eager to shoot them. Now, this area, I'm pretty certain, is where they filmed parts of Spearhead from space. It looks really similar.
No, you're right, it is. Because that's the staircase.
Yeah,
yes.
That's where the Auton is, up there.
Yeah.
I thought I recognised it. And the doors that the Cybermen come through later, when they shoot Vaughan, I recognised them from Spearhead.
I've never made that connection before, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It is exactly the same location.
That's funny, because that's also a unit story.
It's the next unit story.
Yeah, it's true. That's an actual platoon from the British Army.
It is, yeah.
Remember, Nicholas Courtney said he got off that vehicle and those real soldiers saw him and they were going, do we salute him? They weren't sure if he was an actor or not because he's got the officer's uniform on.
This is a great sequence as well. And again, this is the way that all of this is shot as well, like the close-ups, like this shot.
And from a low angle.
Yeah, the Cybermen just sort of like ploughing through, and low angles to make them intimidating. It's all just structured really well.
Yeah, it's just some iconic shots like that. It just look brilliant. And this sequence reminds me a bit when they fought the Yeti above the underground in the Web of Fear. That's shot in a similar way.
You got the close up of the Brigadier, like just there, like barking orders.
Yeah. Yeah, these doors here look.
Yes, yes. It's actually quite brutal, really, because he gets killed and he's literally just dangling
over the rail.
Yeah. Like this bit, like the Cyberman shooting, he's running off and you just see him dangling.
Is that actually Kevin Stoney as well?
I doubt it. That you couldn't. It's probably a mannequin because you wouldn't be able to dangle someone over the edge like that.
That was very Second Doctor the way he ran away. There's still there.
You right, Doctor?
Yes, it's there, in that building. The radio transmitter control. You've got to destroy.
Don't mind the corpse of Vaughn. Just
well, I don't think anyone's worried about him.
They're moving in 50,000 miles. They've come into range of the Russian missile.
Moving in 50,000 miles. The problem back then, you can't really do many retakes, can you?
Well, they virtually done these live, didn't they?
Yeah.
We've probably said before, but they had like a week's rehearsal and a few hours to do the actual recording, didn't they? So it was virtually like a play.
They you know, well, in this story in particular, no one's really. That's the second fluff I've picked up on.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Very good.
Bomb and move out to safety, isn't it?
Yes, Brigadier. I'm afraid it is.
Yes, well, this is going to be a long 12 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, this is the clock.
In real time. We're now sitting here watching a clock.
Right, do you want a drink? I'll go make a cup of coffee.
And they're all standing there watching a clock.
Thrilling entertainment. Always Benton, even here. Apparently Fraser Hines and Pat Troughton will like take the mick out of Nick Courtney on set. He'd be like, "Your moustache, look, his ski whiff is coming off." He's like, "No, it's not. It's fine." Making paranoid about it.
And more stock footage of missiles was launched. Yes.
I'm going to see this one go all the way up there. It's really dragging his feet at this point. I think, especially because we've lost Vaughn now, and that felt like the end. Now there's a bit more. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's still not bad, but it's just dragging a bit.
What's the thing? He's been the antagonist throughout this whole thing. Now he's gone, and now it's like, and now I still need to mop up the Cybermen.
Yeah, it's like cleaning up the bits you missed.
Tired?
Slightly jarring to go from Cyberman ship blowing up to taking photos again.
Yeah, so obviously like a few hours, if not a day, has passed since that and this.
They could have done with an establishing shot of the house, maybe, just to set it up.
Well, I think when the when the explosion happened, obviously the screen went to white, and then there was a shot of the lamp. That was probably supposed to be a transition, but obviously it didn't really work.
No. I think it would have been better if they had the white, then it slowly faded into the house, establishing shot, and then went like... It would make it slightly less jarring. And you'd be like, oh, okay, we're back here now. Good grief, man.
Right, this is going to be very nerdy when we see the TARDIS, but this is the first story where a silver handle, was put on the box. Before that, it didn't. The doors never had a handle.
What? Even Hartnell's one?
Hartnell one never had a handle.
How did they shut the door then? Because you have to pull it to shut it.
Yeah, well, they had to use the yeah.
Well, I heard for this as well, for the effect they did, because it's invisible, they had to have a pole in the field to give Troughton a reference of where the TARDIS would be.
We'll try over there.
So they're swimming. Oh, this is a nice shot here, look. There's something so poetic about that shot. It's like the Doctor always finds the TARDIS somehow.
Oh, there's two handles here. It was used for another TV show, and I think that was the first time it was used in colour. And they put the handles on the doors, and then they got it back for this, which is why it's got the handles.
Oh, it was used on a different TV show?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. It's in my book. It's in the TARDIS Chronicles.
It's in your Bible.
It's in the Bible, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, The Invasion, there you go.
Brilliant.
Very, very good, yeah. No, it's excellent. I mean, it's just a great earthbound story, and it's one of those stories that's effective because I think I mentioned this in the Christmas Invasion commentary, but when you bring the threats to Earth, it makes it more relatable and more scary because you're seeing familiar objects like St. Paul's Cathedral and these landmarks you recognise, and you think, oh god, that's a bit close to home, this invasion, you know, the Cybermen and everything. Really well written by Derek Sherwin. He did a good job there. It did drag a bit towards the end, I thought. It wasn't bad, it was just dragging its feet a bit when they were setting up the missiles and all of that at the end. Douglas Camfield did a fantastic job directing this, my god. I mean, he did a great job in The Web of Fear, but I thought he outdid himself here. You know, we were mentioning there's a lot of nice handheld shots on location, a lot of zoom-ins. Like, the camera was never still for very long, which is what you want, really, because it makes the story more dynamic and it helps with the action, especially when you see some of the shots we were saying towards the end of the Cybermen, you know, shooting at the unit soldiers, some low angles and, you know, zooming into the Cybermen as they were firing, and it just looked very cool. And Douglas Camfield, he just did a very, very good job. And he's one of those directors that is, you know, good with both the logistical and technical side of things, but also good with actors, which is the perfect balance. And that's what you need, really. And it shows, because you can tell everyone here had a great working relationship from what we've heard from the behind-the-scenes stuff. And the actors had great chemistry, which helps. You know, Pat Troughton and Fraser Hines, that always helps. And Wendy Padbury, and, you know, great supporting characters as well. They were very strong. Like, you got Isabel, Captain Turner, even characters like Sergeant Walters. They're all interesting people, and the people at the missile base or whatever. All great characters. The Cybermen didn't have loads to do, but they were more just the heavies in this. It was more about Vaughn and his invasion and, you know, the IE, which kept us entertained for the first part of the story. Then you get the Cybermen element more in the second half, which I think is quite refreshing also, because we've had Cybermen stories before by this point where they've been centre stage, but I like the fact they take a bit more of a backseat for a bit more variety in this story, to have other villains that are equally as interesting, like Vaughn and Packer, and their relationship is just hilarious. Brilliant. They're like a double act, much like Fraser Hines and Patrick Troughton. You know, it's a classic, and I've loved this story since I was 7 years old, so I'm going to have to give it a very, very generous 9 out of 10. Very, very good. So those are my thoughts on it, but yeah, I'll leave it there.
It's quite interesting you say that, because obviously our perspective of this is different to obviously when it came out. Because when it came out, no one would have known about Cybermen, would they?
No.
For parts 1 to 4, it would have just been like a Bond type villain, Vaughn, and international electromatics and all of that. And then the Cybermen are brought in, and it becomes this bigger, more dangerous threat. Whatever, I think, obviously us going into it, especially because obviously the front cover, Cybermen.
Spoiler!
Cybermen on there. So, I think for us youngsters, and even people watching this after broadcast, obviously when it came out and when people were when it was available rather to watch it, I think it was known as the big 8-part Cyberman story.
That's right.
Which was definitely one of the things that drew me into watching this whenever I watched it when I was a kid. So yeah, knowing that, and I feel like the anticipation building of all, when are they coming in? When are they coming in? But we get Vaughn, who's, as you said, just brilliant and just completely carries the first half of this story.
Oh, yeah.
You're not bored.
No.
You're not sort of thinking, come on, you know, when are they turning up? Plus you've got the Cyber Planner.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like one element. And then when they do eventually show up in the second half, that's sort of when most of the action is.
Yeah.
And it does all just tie together. Like you said, all the acting, all the characters, brilliant. The storylines, the shot used, like part 1 and 2. One of the scenes that spring to mind is when Unit go and pick up the Doctor and Jamie.
Yeah.
That feels very gangster-like. The way that's shot and the whole musical score and everything. And it feels just very sort of like espionage, sort of gangster type at the beginning, which then turns into a sci-fi robot being the Cybermen invasion at the end. And I feel like those two combos really, really work. And the execution, brilliant.
Yeah.
just brilliant. Really, really all does tie everything together, and that is just a credit to everyone, the actors, the directors, the whole team involved in this. But yeah, I think I agree. 8.5, 9 out of 10. I think is a fair score. So I'm going to give it the same.
Yeah. No, excellent. You can't go wrong with this. Highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Although you probably have if you're watching this.
Yes, I feel like this is one of the must watches.
Oh, so, definitely.
It's definitely a very popular story.
Yeah.
So there we go. So you gave it a 9 out of 10, and I'll give it an 8.5, 9 as well.
Nice.
So there we go. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
Yet another commentary. We have a couple of ideas of what we want to do next.
Should we say, or should we save it for the?
We're going to save it. We will save it. We also, obviously...
It's a very different story, I'll give you that.
It is, and obviously, we're not going to promise when it'll be, because obviously, timings and when we can meet up and have time to record one, etc. is, sometimes not all the time on the cards. So, yes. But anyway, we hope you enjoyed the invasion, and stay tuned for more videos from me and collaborations with us too. So thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Take care. So you've just seen another one of my videos. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to keep watching and subscribe. Leave a comment as well. To Louie Marcus's YouTube channel. That's me, by the way. In case you were wondering.